channel. Trust you guys are doing very good. If this is your first time coming across this channel, I'm Chinwe. I want to thank everybody for always coming back to watch my videos, for your comments, your contributions, your take on every video I made. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate. To my new subscribers, thank you for being part of the family. You are appreciated too. So in today's video, let's look at this video. I saw it and I decided to share it here. A white woman narrating her experience when she's growing up and why white people don't please black people. I didn't make it up, guys. Let's watch her and see what she has to say.
Let's talk about why white women don't police black women and why they don't stand up against racism. So growing up, obviously, as a white woman, I was expected to be nice, sweet, and happy. My brothers could be angry, aggressive, hurt me, punch my head. They did all of that. But I was not allowed to stand up for myself. I had to understand the white men. When I confronted my mom and said, my brothers just beat my head, she said, oh, he must have been having a bad day. Why don't you go and see if he's okay? So white women are socialized to put white men first and to deny their own experience and be sweet and nice to get loved. If I wanted to be loved and accepted by my family, I had to silence myself and ignore and abandon all that I felt. I was not prepared to do this. I have no contact with my family. If I confronted the racism I saw in the men around me, I was insulted, mocked, and shamed for being somebody who loved black people. I was shocked as a child that I would be rejected for saying, why do you think that's okay? Would you like to be spoken to like that? How come you think that you can speak about people like that? Do you not realize that this is emotional abuse that you're doing? Why do you think it's okay to be racist? At each point, I was told to be quiet, that I'm ruining the day, that I should focus and be grateful. Now, I am probably autistic, so I'm direct, and I focus on the truth and fairness. And for me, racism is wrong and it's unfair, and I will always stand up for it. And it will mean, and has meant, a lot of rejection for doing this, and I will continue to do that. But for a lot of white women, they haven't had the capacity or the skills to be able to go, I'm going to make a stand. What making a stand means is they will be isolated, rejected, abused, put down, controlled, made wrong, and they're too scared to do this. So they repeat what has been done to them, where they are tone policed and made wrong for not just being happy, sweet, and nice. We need to make a stand against the socialization that silences and represses us. So please, find your voice. Stand up for yourself, stand up for others, stand up against racism and sexism. Together we rise.
Could this really be true? Like, why would somebody be mocked for standing up for her fellow woman, whether black or whatever? This is really serious. I don't know. I combined some stitches. Let's hear them and know what they have to say.
Let's talk about why white women don't police black women and why they don't.
Okay, so first of all, if you haven't gone to watch that video, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it, because I personally found it disturbing. This gal is talking about how when she grew up, and she's, I would say, maybe 10 years older than me, not that much. She's talking about how when she was growing up, she had to be the appeaser, basically, and her brothers could do whatever the heck they wanted to her, and they were giving excuses, and she just had to be nice, pretty much. as long as she was nice and sweet, she was meeting her end of the bargain. And I just find that dumbfounding, even as a white woman who grew up in southern Indiana, but deep fried in southern culture, and in Christianity for that matter, conservative Christianity. I just want to say, if that's the experience of anybody else that happens to come across this video, please work on, like, by all means, that's poisonous. And it's no wonder that we can't get along with each other if your inner programming is that you're not even allowed to have feelings, and you're basically at war with yourself. So, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, maybe I'm neurodivergent, I've not had any testing done, but I was taught nonviolence as a kid, especially as a Christian. It's odd, I know, but I wasn't supposed to hit back, right? Remember one time this gal, we were tiny, and I was picking up the crayons, trying to follow the rules, and she bit me through my sweatshirt and left a bruise. And my mother's husband was like, bite her back, bite her back. My mom was like, no, and I just cried, and, that worked for me. And obviously my side was taken and all that. But I learned from that real quick. And if somebody was going to be aggressive towards me, or they had words for me, I just say it like it is. Like, it's not, I don't care. It's not nice. If it's the truth, then in the long term, it's nice. Whether they like it or they don't, whether I like it or I don't. I see some things on here and people say things and I'm like, oh God, God, Jesus, oh. But if it's the truth, it's nice. So just work on that, I guess. Like, if that was your experience, I am so sorry. And you have every right to speak up for yourself.
And why they don't. For context, go and watch her entire video, okay? And then if you like, come back. So she explained, basically, or she's trying to explain why white women don't stand up against racism and why they don't police black women, okay? And I have some things to add to this video. First and foremost, generally, when we criticize a behavior of people within our group, but we use they and me logic, especially in the context of white women, it tells me everything I need to know. It tells me that you or the person in question has not understood that there is no they and me, white women. It is all white women, we white women. And that's a very simple logic, because by they white women, those ones that don't police black women, you're distancing yourself from your whiteness and the privileges that come with being a white woman. Also, in this entire video, she basically centered herself in explaining how she wasn't able to be standing up for herself, or she wasn't allowed to stand up for herself when she was growing up, which no doubt that might have been the case. I'm not doubting that. I'm not trying to trivialize that. But the point of the video is, why are white women don't policing black women? So if you exclude yourself from that because you don't don't police black women, I don't see the need of explaining your own childhood and what you went through as a white woman to kind of like explain why you or why white women do what they do. Because why white women don't police black women is because we are socially conditioned to do so, period. There doesn't have to be any explanation of what you went through as a white girl or as a white child or whatever. Those things are not necessary because they don't contribute to being the problem. The problem is that white women have never been raised, or white people generally, to see ourselves as white, one, to see the danger of whiteness and to speak up against whiteness, and why whiteness is a social construction of oppression and that only oppresses people of color, black people, indigenous people. We don't even see whiteness. We don't even know we are white. We are not socially conditioned or taught that we are white. So therefore, we don't even know what whiteness does to non-white people. And the tone policing thing, socially and historically, white people have been conditioned and are used to black people not being able or not being allowed to, or socially not having the room to express their feelings, their criticism, and what doesn't sit right with them. So we are simply used to ignoring black people's words. Because throughout human history, it has always been this way. White women are the number one enablers of white supremacy, and I didn't find that in your video. So when we talk about what black women go through in the hands of white women, we need to include ourselves because we are all part of the problem. That's how we end things.
Aggressive, hurt me, punch my head. They did all of that.
Now, I used her video because she was talking about how she grew up with being white. Now, I'm going to veer off of that topic and still stick to where she was at because a lot of people don't realize, and you listen to her, you'll realize you was raised the same way she was. She's white and I'm black. Look at that. We were raised the same exact way. I'm the only girl. I have all brothers. I have 3 brothers and a shitload of male cousins. They were allowed to hit us, slap us, call us names. I was called every name in the book, one of them being Black Burnt Biscuit. And my mother, even my father, allowed them to do these things to me. And I cried about it. I was a crier and I yelled and I screamed. They're bothering me. They're doing things to me. And guess who got in trouble? Me. I got in trouble for crying and screaming because they were hurting me. I remember my dad slapped the shit out of me when he left a handprint on my face because my brother was bothering me. So I'm saying this to say, this is where the behaviors come from. Where we see the men in the world today, where they get to do things to women and they get away with it. No one believes them. They have no consequences because they didn't have any as little boys. My mother used to allow my brother to pick with me day in and day out. And I just had to get used to it. This happened to a lot of women, not just white women. It happened to us as well. And nothing was said about it. Now, if you look at the world today, and we are all adults, take a good look at the violence in the world that we're dealing with the unaliving of women, the DV, domestic violence, and all that stuff, where it's like it goes unheard of. No one wants to hear it because you're not telling the truth. Just because as young boys, they was allowed to do things to girls and get away with it because there was nothing wrong with it. Let me tell you something, a little story real quick. A male friend of mine's told me. He told me every story you hear about a woman that's being supposedly harmed, hit, he said that those were all lies. Yes, he told me they were all lies. Now, granted, my mother was a part of that abuse, but she was being abused by men. But he told me that these stories were made up. Now, you see where I'm going? No one believes us because they get to do these things and they get to get away with it. And then we get gaslit into believe that we're not being harmed when we really are. And it starts with childhood, with these parents allowing their boys to harm girls and get away with it. They're not given any consequences. We just have to live with it. And then we wonder why a lot of women are not dealing with men anymore.
So guys, that is it for this video. Let me hear your own comments, your contribution on this video, or if you have any similar experience on this, let's chat in the comment down below. Let's hear your voice. Please don't forget to share this video, like, subscribe if you have not done so. Bye for now. See you in my next video. Bye.